Well, I'll tell you what I think.
Really, the GOP wants to dismantle every program that doesn't fit in with their extreme right-wing ideology.
From harmful mandates and Obamacare to job-killing EPA regulations, the federal government continues to reach far beyond our founding fathers' intent.
It is a Ponzi scheme for these young people. It is, I mean, the idea that they're working and paying into Social Security today and that they're under the current program, that it's going to be there for them, is a lie. It is a monstrous lie on this generation.
And nowhere in the Constitution do we read the words, the government shall provide for health care.
Number two is the way I was brought up, that's a family responsibility, not a government responsibility.
That's right. Don't get sick.
Medicare, Medicaid.
We end all the unconstitutional federal departments, including the Department of Energy, Education, Agriculture, Commerce, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, and Labor.
The New Deal's legacy is a glut of federal programs, and including a bankrupt Social Security system. I don't know how you would call it anything other than that.
We are not that America. We are the America that feels that we should take care of our brothers and sisters.
Listen up, Republicans. Social Security was created by FDR and Democrats as an inoculation against communism. Without it, communism would have become much more popular in this country. Let's put it this way. You're either true Americans who are going to continue to support Social Security, or you're communist enablers.
And it turns out that the Republicans' health care plan was a blank piece of paper.
The GOP wants to get rid of Social Security and Medicare.
If you have insurance, don't get sick. If you don't have insurance, don't get sick. If you're sick, don't get sick. Just don't get sick.
But that's not all. They also want to get rid of all constitutional amendments, except the 2nd and 10th, referenced in the preamble to justice, welfare, and tranquility. The Emancipation Proclamation, Lee's surrender at Appomattox, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, universal access to food and water, the presidential elections of 1932 and 2008, and anyone who is not white and wealthy. You know who I'd like to get rid of? The GOP.
Dr. Ron Paul's reaction. We were surprised by that. I mean, that's not an honorary title. That's not something. He was an OBGYN, and basically let the charities take over if people don't have enough insurance, and presumably there are enough free clinics out there to take care of everybody without insurance. Is there any factual basis for that next leap forward from where he finished off last night?
I would remind Ron Paul that when we were in Houston, Texas, 1,800 people had to come to a convention center to get the health care that we need.
The Democrats say that if you have health insurance, we're going to make it better. If you don't have health insurance, we're going to provide it to you. If you can't afford health insurance, then we'll help you to afford health insurance. Do you want the Democratic plan, or do you want the Republican plan?
You know, folks, watching the GOP debate last night, you were looking at Darwin's waiting room right there on stage. I've never seen a collection of idiots quite like that. The GOP agenda is really quite simple. It's to eliminate all taxes on the wealthy and big corporations. That's their goal. But their biggest goal, their main goal, is to abolish Social Security and Medicare. Believe me, that is what they really want to do.
The Republicans' health care plan for America, don't get sick.
Now, what I would like to do is to allow all the young people to get out of Social Security and go on their own.
When I think about the Republican view on Social Security, all I can think of is that noted liberal warrior Alan Grayson's saying, and I can paraphrase it to apply it. Don't get old, but if you do, die quickly.
If you get sick, America, the Republican health care plan is this: die quickly.
What a surprise. The party who could care less that so many don't have health insurance now talks about getting rid of Social Security and Medicare. Rick Perry calls Social Security a Ponzi scheme.
It is a Ponzi scheme, Ponzi scheme, Ponzi scheme.
Isn't that a money-making scheme? Who on Social Security is trying to get rich? Rick Perry should speak before a large group of elderly. Tell them they're just part of a big money-making scheme. See how that goes over. With the GOP in power, programs that make people feel a little safer, a little healthier, more educated, more enlightened, they're all in jeopardy of being destroyed.
The debate over Social Security that we're now seeing, is this another part of the same picture? Is it all basically, I've got mine, who cares about anybody else?
I really think what we're finding is that really we're all looking at what's most important for me, for that faction, to get that vote. But we're not looking at what's best for America.
That's the Republicans' health care plan.
During our country's worst recession since the Great Depression of 1929, the GOP want to cut Social Security and Medicare benefits, throwing more seniors into poverty. There's obviously something very wrong with this Republican agenda. In fact, they're disregarding the values and the priorities of the majority of the Americans.
That's the Republicans' health care plan.
So what do Republicans want to do about Medicare? Check out what Representative Chris Van Hollen, Democrat of Maryland, had to say about it on Fox News.
They would write that into the United States Constitution under their proposal. It would be easier to cut Medicare than it would be to cut subsidies for oil and gas companies.
The hell with the uninsured. It's their fault for being uninsured in the first place. And if they get sick, who cares? That's what Ron Paul says.
He needs intensive care for 6 months. Who pays?
That's what freedom is all about, taking your own risk. This whole idea that you have to prepare and take care of everybody.
Get rid of Medicare, let Americans die. That's the GOP way.
Have those sort of reactions in public where people could see them reacting to other human beings like they were filth.
It broke my heart, and they definitely do not want to be treated as if they are the filth on someone else's shoe.
Do you want the Democratic plan or do you want the Republican plan?
Most of our debt in the future comes from our entitlement programs, namely
why did you
Medicare and Medicaid.
So I paid into that for 50 years. My unemployment and my Social Security and my Medicare, and now you're gonna.
So I hope he's taking his blood pressure medication.
All right, no fooling around this time. This is real. I'm 43 years old, and my kidneys don't work. I am uninsurable. If the Republicans' plans for Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid go forward, within 6 months of full implementation, I will be dead. The Republicans' plans are going to kill people. I'm just one of them.
Die quickly, die quickly, 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 quickly.
You just hit it on the head with the mob mentality.
6, 7, open up the pearly gates.
That's pretty much it.
Well, ain't no time to wonder why. Whoopee, we're all gonna die. Hey.